Today I'm working on a soap that somebody asked me to make them, but I wanted to explain a couple things first on how I learned how to make soap and how I came up with the recipe that I use. I got some books that I had ordered, some from Amazon, I think, and a couple from a used bookstore. I can't think of what the name is, but this one is one that I use. This one has different calculations and stuff on how to come up with your own recipe and things that you can use. I'm not sponsored by any of these books. I just wanted to show you what I use. I got the natural soaps. This is a good book. They have some really cool, interesting stuff in it. And then I have liquid soaps, because I do make liquid soaps too. I use a different type of lye for that, and it's called potash. This is called potash. It's lye. They're like chips, but this is not as strong as the regular lye. These are the beads. This one here, that's what I use to make the hard soaps. This one I make the liquid soaps with. And then I wanted to talk about this oil that I'm going to be using in it. It's not something to be taken very lightly, because it's got a lot of medicinal effects that can happen. But this person wanted it, so that's why I'm making it. It's called moldavite, and this is moldavite oil. And I wrote down some stuff that it does. Moldavite is formed from an asteroid millions of years ago, and sent hot glass across Europe, where it's still mined today. And it has an extremely high vibration. If you use this oil or the stone, just expect things to happen, like stronger things. You can find a lot of that stuff on online about it. But what it does is it helps with the heart chakra and the third eye, and it'll intensify anything that you, how do I say this? It will intensify things that you may not be ready to do yet, or have in your life yet. It has balancing characteristics and helps with the memory. And if worn in a charm, it helps vibrate and increase beneficial synchronicities. So it's not something that you use lightly, and it's also used in a lot of craft, let's say. And once you put the stone in your jar, you can use the oil, but don't use the stone for anything else but making oil. And you can make your own oil. There's a couple places online that you can find it. But I can't stress enough not to get this if you're not prepared for the consequences. Discussed a lot about using certain containers for just your soap. products if you're making soaps, and not to use containers that you would put food in, because some of this stuff is like the lye is extremely dangerous to work with. Anyways, I'm going to measure up the lye first, and always use a scale when measuring your soap products. I'm using rubber gloves too, because this lye is super strong. I'm gonna keep the lid on it for now. And then I'm going to measure up my water. I'm using distilled water. Okay, I had to reset the scale. So I decreased the water that I use. So you can always use more water, but I'm using the decreased amount that I wanted to, which is the least amount. I have that in an ice bath, which I'm going to start adding my lye. Let me show you what I did. I have it in an ice bath here, and I just do a little bit at a time. I keep the lid on it on that jar because the moisture will make it stick together, or humidity. So I'm just going to stir it a little bit at a time. It's really strong. I'm just putting in a little bit of the lye at a time in. So and then I'm using a plastic container for measuring. I want to do my olive oil first. If I can get the lid off. Recipe over here. Already measured out. I use the liquid oil first, because it helps the other oils to come out of the container easier. most of my oils I get from this one distributor. They have pretty good prices. I don't see the name on here. Using olive oil, palm oil, lard, and coconut oil, and a little tiny bit of lanolin because it's really good for the skin, and some chopped up oatmeal. There's I think a half a cup in there. I have water boiling on the stove so I can melt this. I need to turn it on. I just used a little tiny bit of the lanolin. That's actually quite a bit, but it helps with the skin. So helps moisturize. Pause for a minute. Okay, I'm gonna go over here and add more lye to the water. You gotta stir it up real good. And if you use rainwater, make sure it's filtered real good. I'll put this bucket in the water to start melting. Sorry if it's noisy, but you can see I have it's like a double boiler that I use. I use the plastic container, just put it in there. As long as it's not super hot, it won't melt on that type of container. Because all the oils have to melt to combine real good. So then over here, I got the oatmeal. I guess I don't need that. And I'm going to go ahead and add the moldavite oil in here. You can see it's a green color. They probably used a dye to color it. Yes. It's got a really strong but sweet smell to it. I want to leave the crystal in the jar. Yeah. So I can reuse it, make more. And it's best not to use it for anything else. But I'll let that set like that for a while until I'm ready to mix it. Okay, then over here, this is going to be my mold. It's just a wooden thing that I made. But I'm using this freezer paper to line it. And what I did was I measured out how wide the mold is and how long it's going to be. Yeah. And then I just folded everything to where it would fit inside. melted to where I wanted. You know, it's all liquid, and it's the right temperature. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump my lye in. And start mixing. You can see it starts right away turning. And that's pretty good to where I want it right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the oatmeal and moldavite. Give it a quick stir. And then, let me move you over here. It's starting to turn pretty fast, so I gotta work faster. I'm gonna dump half of it in. And then back over here, I'm going to add some green mica. A couple tablespoons. And just give it a quick stir. Be careful not to touch the soap if you can, because it'll burn right now because of the lye. And then back over here, I will go ahead and add this to the other stuff. The chunks in there are the oatmeal. Oatmeal does certain things for your skin, and it's pretty good. It's not going to turn out the way I wanted it. I wanted to do a swirl, but it's not going to come out very good because it's already too thick. when you get to that stage, you gotta work pretty fast. But it'll still come up pretty cool. You'll have 2 layers. One green and the other should be white. So I'm going to... Oh, sorry about... Let that sit and get the air bubbles out. Scared the dog. And clean up my mess. And then I'll be able to cut it in the morning. Probably actually tonight, but I'm going to cover it a little bit. And this is how it turned out. It's I let it set overnight. I'm going to unwrap it and see. So yeah, it didn't come out the way I wanted, but that's okay. Start cutting it. Yeah. Darn it. It's still pretty cool the way it came out. Ooh. I usually cut the bars pretty big. So that's how they look. And I'm going to put them in a container, an open container. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I just let them rest for about 6 to 8 weeks. That way the lye won't burn your body. And this is, for a lot of us, this is the way, similar to how our grandparents used to make soap, or your parents. But now it's more of a fun hobby for people. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time.